Greetings gamers, welcome to part number 42 of my Let's Play Fire Emblem 4 Genealogy of the Holy War. And in today's episode, a beautiful episode as it is, I am moving on from the Yeed Desert and the Isaac campaign into the Yeed Desert on the way to Munster District. Very familiar territory. Word of the first victory of Prince Leif and his liberation army quickly spreads far and wide, inspiring courage anew in the Empire's victims. Still, more uprisings erupt across Jugdrol, but once again, precious few are properly organized and are easily crushed, and the death toll climbs ever higher. Leonster, a kingdom in the Thracian peninsula, Prince Leif, the son of Quan, had raised an army with the aid of the knight Finn, but they have suffered a devastating loss before King Bloom's vast hordes and are stranded in hostile ground. Before Seliph lies the Yeed Desert, ruled by the Loptrian Kudzov from the Yeed Shrine. The oasis city of Darna, governed by the ex-merchant Bramzel, and the captain of his sellsword army, Jabaro. And Fort Melgan, guarded by Prince Ishtor and the renowned General Liza. King Bloom himself, the son of the late Duke Reptor, awaits at the capital city of Ulster, with his niece, the Mage Tinny. In Riveau, Seliph and the warriors of his liberation army now prepare themselves to embark on a journey and come to the aid of their allies in faraway Leonster. Each warrior sets aside their worries as under Seliph's leadership, they prepare for the new battle on their horizon. Chapter 7, Beyond the Desert. Leonster. Finn, what's the situation? Any word from the other division yet?
We failed, my lord. Every last soldier in the Ulster raid is dead.
This is a crippling blow to our army. We've lost most of our might in one fell swoop.
This can't be happening.
I thought this was our big chance. Was all of this useless all along? Damn it all. I'll strangle Bloom himself with my bare hands.
Please calm yourself, my lord.
This isn't the end quite yet. I've just had a word with King Lewin. He's sending Prince Seliph's liberation army to back us up. Until then, no matter what, my lord, we must endure the siege.
Prince Seliph, you say?
He's the son of my father's old friend Sigurd, and of Empress Deidre, right? I pray we can meet him soon. Perhaps if we merge our efforts with his, we'll have a better chance of protecting people from the Empire.
That's right, Leif. Besides, if we just let ourselves lose now, wouldn't your men's deaths all be in vain? I think we should abandon the castle for now and seek refuge near that western church.
You're right. I suppose we don't have much choice now. Very well. Our priority now is to play this out defensively for the time being. Until Prince Seliph gets here, we must endure. Ulster Castle.
What's your problem now? Can't you capture even as worthless a castle as this? You worms taking this seriously?
Yes, my lord. The thing is, though, the enemy is proving to be a resilient sort. We're struggling to breach their defenses.
Buffoons, all of you. Do you really think I want to hear excuses? I want Leonster seized, no more delays. If you waste any more time on this, then we'll have to contend with those Isaacian mongrels as well.
Yes, my lord. We will strike immediately, my lord.
Alright, looks like Leonster is under threat. Yeed Desert? Or Yeed Shrine, I should say.
Oh boy, those rumors weren't kidding. That place was full to the brim with treasure. Been a long time since I've had a haul like this. But I can't afford to dawdle now. Still gotta get out of here, and quick.
Hey, excuse me, hand that sword over. You can keep everything else, but I need the sword.
Where do you think you get off trying to take somebody else's hard-earned goods? Do you have any idea how tough it was to get my hands on this sword? If you want it, come get it, nincompoop.
Wait!
What? Thieves have plundered our treasury? And they absconded with Balmung? You fools, go seize them now! Yes, your grace. But, your grace. Surely a master of dark magics of your caliber could crush common thieves such as these with a single blow, even from here. I've misplaced my book of Fenrir. My men are scouring the shrine to find it, but so far it has yet to emerge. Understood, your grace. In that case, my clan and I will take a few mercenaries and pursue them. We swear to you, your grace, that we will have the treasure back where it belongs post-haste.
Rivo. So the route to Leonster requires that we cross this vast desert, yes? Yeah, the Yeet Shrine's the real problem here, as it's controlled by the Locrian Order. The Order's fell mages infest the desert, mercilessly assaulting anyone they find in it. People have taken to calling the region the Desert of Death. Fitting name, really. I can only imagine how awfully travelers struggle here. I wonder, perhaps it'd be possible to seize the shrine from the Order? Heh, I thought you'd never ask. There's always a way, but this one won't be easy. We may need to make some sacrifices. So be it. At this point, we've little choice. Not to mention, Shannon is likely still in the desert. For now, let's focus on taking control of Yeed. All else will begin there. Alright, so Sigurd's phase. And I have a lot of interesting things going on here. So the Yeed Shrine is surrounded by dark magic users like the Jormungandr Dark Bishop here. Kutsuf has a 90 hit, 20 might, 1-2 range, 12 weight tome here. Jormungandr is very powerful. This is, I believe, one of the first times we spot it. I think it was in Gen 1. I just didn't really pay. I think it might have been on Sandema. I think only Sandema, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't think I looked at the statistics of it. So he has the bargain band. This is where you get the bargain band if you did not inherit it. Obviously, I don't want to leave that behind. But also, Kutsuf here has something interesting about him. Just like in Thracia, in the Kerberos chapter 3, where the mage or the bishop, I should say, that is near the throne will eventually go and get the Meteor Tome. He actually gets the Fenrir Tome, I believe, it's between turn 10 and 15. I'm not entirely sure. It's a very long time. Most of the time, you're never going to see this happen unless you decide to move with haste away from the shrine. Of course, I've got Shannon and Patty here. Shannon needs to talk to Patty for something very specific and very important. Other than that, I have 3 new units in Leif, Finn, and Nana. And these particular units are in the off-beaten track. So what I like doing here is getting all of the village over here with Leif. He needs every ounce of gold he can possibly get. Getting as many KOs as possible, especially on all of the Leonster units here, the commander and such. And then I like to return them after I accomplish that goal. There is Bloom with the Mjolnir, so he literally has Reptor's Tome. He is nowhere near as powerful or foreboding as Reptor because he only has 16 magic. That's okay because, grand scheme of things, I have a couple of ways to deal with him, including a wonderful Wind Tome that I could very well use to combat this evil man. So in retrospect, I would like to speak about 2 units in this chapter, one of which I did not recruit. That would be Johalvier. I'm going to speak about Johan first. In fact, I'm going to speak about them pretty much simultaneously. because they have very similar growths. So Johann is a base level of 12, and so is Johalvir. They both have pretty similar HPs. Johann has 40 base HP, and they both have 110% HP growth. He has 15 strength. They both have 40% strength growth. Johann does not have a magic growth, and he has 0 magic. Johalvir has 5 magic growth. I'm not sure why this is. What's also interesting is that Johann has a 5% magic growth, but Johalvir does not. That's actually very interesting because neither one of them can get a hold of a magical weapon, so what's the point of that? Also, Johann has only a 20% skill growth, whereas Johalvir has a 50% skill growth. With the 10 base skill, he kind of desperately does need the skill ring compared to Johalvir. What's also interesting is that they're kind of opposite concerning speed. So Johann has a 12 base speed and a 50% speed growth, whereas Johalvir has a 10% speed growth. 5 base luck, and they both have a 10% luck growth. 12 base defense, they both have a 60% defense growth. And 1 base resistance with a 5% resistance growth. They have minor near blood. I actually don't think Johalvir is ever been a unit I've ever even for a moment thought to recruit because I don't see the value in the unit. Especially if you have a Brave Axe with crit or very close to crit. There's just no reason. There's honestly, and I'm not even trying to be mean here, there's just no legitimate reason to use Johalvir. There are some people who say that he is better because he can go through like the varying arenas. So he can either do the physical 1-range arena or the 2-range arena with the bows. And particularly, Johalvir does get the access to brave bows upon promotion, which is very good. I'm not going to say that that's not good, but like I've said before, it's just better for your units to have these weapons kind of like distributed amongst them rather than one unit having a bunch of these particular weapons. And because of this, I don't find this really valuable. For the arena, sure, but I don't find it valuable otherwise. The Brave Axe is also just a fantastic weapon, and once it does have crit, Johann is going to have absolutely no problem getting through the arena. With 10,000 funds to start, 8 movement, and Vantage, he is not in the same position as Lex, because even though he has better growth rates than Lex, especially in the speed department, he is not going to grow as fast because he does not have Paragon. He does have A rank in axes, though, so that's pretty good. Vantage is still good, especially with the Brave Axe, and especially once it has crit. And that's the 2 units I have to speak about. I would like to go through the arena with a unit, and I think that unit is going to be Seliph. I think Seliph should be able to beat the arena, especially with the crit Brave Sword. So, Tolstoy, the fighter, 1 shot, and Seliph shows us the beautiful, wonderful animations that Thracia inherited. And that was very good fighting. At rank 2, he's going to fight Botsman the Mage with Thunder. And this first strike is not a crit, but doesn't matter. The second strike is a clean KO with 100 hit. There is nothing that guy could have even done, unfortunately for him. And a fantastic level up for Seliph. Seliph absolutely needs speed, and that's exactly what he got. So now is Kruger. Is it Freddy Krueger? The Steel Lance is no match for the Brave Sword, as the Brave Sword has enough crit that the arena is pretty much a guaranteed victory. If you like fighting another round, of course I do. Manstein, with the who is a Myrmidon with the Iron Sword. And he actually is outspeeding Seliph, but what's that matter when Seliph just says, I double you back? Yet another level up, level 12, I almost said 17. No speed that level up either, but that's okay. A few levels of no speed is not going to make the biggest of deals, especially because the speed threshold for actually Wow, a double crit. For actually doubling most enemies in the second generation is not too heavy of a request. And Randok, the warrior with the silver axe. I think this guy is going to have relatively no crit or no hit on Seliph, and it yet again does not matter. As you can see, once a brave weapon has crit, you kind of are just unbeatable in some ways. Oh, this is incredible. And the final fight, Wolfen, the general with the silver blade. This guy is actually quite the threat to most of your units. But if your units all get a hold of the brave sword, which I will be passing around, you can see he's not really that much of a threat. Seliph is now level 14. So at the start of next chapter, he should be able to promote pretty easily and readily, I should say. I'm still going to be leaving the Paragon Band on him for the time being, as it still makes the most sense for him. But it is time for me to go off and do a lot of preparations on my units, including managing inventory as well as arena. I will see you all very soon. All right, so everybody was able to get through the arena pretty much with ease, except for Johan. He was only able to get to the 7th and wasn't able to beat it, and Julia. She was also only able to get to the 7th, which is unfortunate for them, but it's not that big of a deal because I could always send folks back later on. For now, it is time to depart the castle. So I'm just going to be moving Seliph straight this way and across this path so that he can get as fast as possible to the Yid Shrine, because that is his goal, and believe me, it's not a quick one. It is actually quite the slow goal. When it comes to everybody else, Julia is going to... Actually, I'm going to go ahead and reset that for a moment. Julia needs to heal up Johan. So let's put you here. I was using him to burn RNG because she was not winning certain arena fights that were actual no-brainers. She should have just immediately won. And it was one of those instances where I was just kind of dumbfounded as to why that was. But nothing that can be done about it, I suppose. Julia is a very, very good unit to use against the Jormungandr mages over here. And of course I bought the flame sword with good old Oifi. It is the weakest, definitely by far, of all of the particular weapons that are magical in this game, but it's still a magic weapon. It still can be used. Oifi actually makes pretty good use of it, honestly. I think there's a lot of talks here. Dermot and Nana have a talk. This yields statistics for Nana. I want to say... Yeah, Shannon and Patty is very, very important. I'm actually going to reset because I need Oifi to talk to Dermot. I totally forgot about that. Alright, time for Oifi to get that conversation going. Say, Dermot, you have a sister in Leonster, don't you? Yes, sir. We are separated when we were very young. From what I've heard, she grew up with Sir Finn, a knight of Leonster. Sir Finn, you say? You're eager to have the chance to see her again, aren't you? Yes, sir, I can hardly wait. You'll have to give this battle your all first, then. How about a quick swordplay lesson? Yes, sir. I'd appreciate that. And strength +1, skill +1, and defense +1. Which does give him pretty darn good buffs. I actually appreciate that quite a bit. I think Shannon and Patty are going to be the last I move. Yeah, Leif has a talk with Seliph. It's not important for the moment. Nana and Leif, of course, are going to be paired. Once I can, I'm going to be getting the Wind Sword onto Leif and the Bolt Sword onto Patty, which is my thief. And of course, I brought the Return Staff, as well as the Return Band on 2 of my units. So what I can do is I can return Finn with Nana and then return herself, and return Leif pretty much immediately at the same time. I actually love the fact that I promoted him, and I think that that's the best way to play this chapter. I mean, you don't really have to do it. It's not like you're dooming yourself if you don't, but it is very handy, to say the least. Alright, go right here.
Yeah, stop! Get your hands off of me!
Look, I don't want to hurt you. Could you just give me that sword back?
Wait, give it back? Is it yours?
Yes, it is. It's my family's ancestral blade, Balmung. I'm the only person capable of using it. You've nothing at all to gain from keeping it.
Wait, so how'd this thing end up in Yeed anyway?
It belonged to my father, who died in Granvale's war with Isaac. Someone must have stolen it from him after he died. I only recently learned that it was being kept at Yeed, so I came to retrieve it.
Hang on. Could it be? Are you Isaac's Prince Shannon?
I am.
Really? It's really you? Really? Oh, wow. Oh my gosh, this is incredible. No, really, I've heard all the stories about you, all of them. I've been a huge fan of yours for so long, but I never thought I'd actually meet you. But you're here. You're really here talking to me right now. It's like all my dreams are come true.
Yeah, I think I get the idea. My sword, please.
All right, sorry, here you go.
Balmung, my holy sword, it's finally mine. What is this power?
Oh, wow, this is incredible.
And of course, receiving the Balmung means that he auto-equips it. A 90 hit, 30 might, 1 range, 3 weight, exalted weapon with 10 plus skill and plus 20 speed. This buff is a lot more significant on this weapon than the Tyrfing. Even if it had just a plus 10 speed, it would still be a lot more significant because the weight is only 3 rather than 7. It also has more hit than the Tyrfing, unfortunately. The Tyrfing only has 80 hit. Very strange. With that being said, it is the end of my turn, and Yeed's phase begins. All right. I'm going to be slowly taking out all of these units with Shannon, with the Balmung. Every unit over by Yeed needs to be defeated, including the boss, before Seliph ever reaches here. And the reason why that is because otherwise he will just pelt Seliph as he's running around the Yeed Shrine trying to get there with the incredibly powerful Fenrir. And I don't really want that. So there's a bit of a trick to make sure that you KO all of these Loptrian mages. I'm going to be showing you this coming turn. I actually love this strategy. And it's another instance of proof in the pudding. This map in this game, or I should say this game, has very good map design when it does. I'm not going to say that it has good map design all the time, or that it's just perfect, or this, that, or the other. I'm not blind to the fact that Kaga knows how to make mistakes. There's some people who don't believe that about most, I would say, Kaga Fire Emblem enjoyers. But it is true. There are many of us out there that aren't automatically just enthralled with everything that Kaga did. Though I do still think that he was quite the genius. There are many things that he did that are just not necessarily all that great. I don't particularly care for the Arcanea games, to be frank. Neither do I care for Gaiden. Also, to be frank. And then I'll just sit right there. Everybody needs to continue pairing. Nobody needs to be healed. Nobody really yet, that is. 1 resistance, 39. Okay, he is not being immediately KO'd to these wonderful fellas here. Yeah, so pairing is a little bit tricky because you have to make sure that you're not keeping units within the range of other units in such a way that they just die. It's very, very difficult to maneuver around sometimes. Did I just say die? I meant so that they... Oh my gosh, tired brain. So that they provide jealousy. So jealousy is a mechanic in this game that I didn't really go over. It's kind of very complicated and a little bit too long-winded for me to go over in an episode like this. 23 times 2. What in the world? Miracle Sword. So Finn doesn't double here. Or, not Finn. Leif doesn't double here, which is always a... Well, actually, he does double here. What am I talking about? The guy has the wonderful Pursuit ring, or band. So I think I'm going to Miracle Sword here. Perfect. I appreciate the miss. And Steel Blade. And with that, Leif gets a bit of experience points. Okay, so Finn is... He's not really capable of, I guess with 21, yeah, so with the Horse Slayer, he can actually weaken these guys. That's pretty cool. I'll probably weaken the next one also. And move Finn back. And then my last 2 units, Shannon and Patty, I am going to be showing you the bit of strategy I have to make sure that you can take on all of these units. All you have to do, and I think it would be right there, all you have to do is put Shannon right here. What will happen is one of these guys will stand right here, and that the way the map is designed, the others will have to attack at 1 range. This is very cool. It means that you can deal with multiple in a single turn. Unlike normally, because normally you would have to basically just take on 1 at a time per turn, and I find that to be a little bit too slow going. Yeah, I'm not surprised he got hit. But I do have the ability to crit, so maybe Dermot will. Ah, he did not. That's okay. A good KO for Julia. All of these particular Jormungandr mages are very good prey for Julia. Though I do have a couple of ways to make sure that she gets to promotion before she finds herself leaving. And with those ways, it's not so necessary that she gets KOs right now. Though some KOs in this particular chapter would be good for her, or some experience at all, like mend experience and so on and so forth, because she needs the ability to be able to beat as many arenas as possible so that she can get the experience points and the gold from the arenas. Otherwise, she's going to have a little bit of a hard time.
My lord, we've received word that the Isaacian rebels are on the move.
Isaacian rebels? Ah, the ones led by that brat, Celis, was it? Or Ceres? Something like that? Interesting, very interesting indeed. The Empire's put a hefty price on that boy's head. Let's make sure we're the ones to make that bounty, shall we? Keep our border locked down for the time being. The best option is to let them run themselves ragged, leaving them wide open for a strike. Instruct Commander Jabaro to put his squad on standby. His services will be needed in short order.
Hey, what's with all this noise? You're not about to go to war, are you?
No, but I am about to finish this episode. In fact, I'm going to be doing so right now. I want to thank you for joining me. If you like my content, please upvote and follow, or like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below, and while you're at it, have a great and glorious day gaming.